Start recording. Welcome to Milestone 2, Review and Retrospective. We welcome our online crew as well. Today we're going to review for Game Juice, and we're going to start with Console Clicker. Make sure you say your name.
Hello everyone, I'm Ivan Grijalva. I'm team lead of Console Clicker, and today we're just going to go over what's been happening. That's still frozen. There we go. And this is the incorrect one. Just give me a moment. Apparently got the wrong presentation slide.
You're done.
Oh man. Even in incognito. Edge. Feel dirty doing this.
You should. I'm surprised you know it. It'd be funnier if it's on a Mac, right?
Right?
Who's that?
And then you did it at Facebook headquarters.
Presentation. Okay, cool. Alright, sorry about that everyone, but let's continue with this. So our designers pretty much went through and did the dialogue tree, the UI, and the picture we see right here, this is part of our asset list. No, this is actually the building upgrades, my bad. And pretty much it just, we added some new upgrades to and new building types that will eventually lead to new narrative points. And right here, this is actually the asset list. And this actually details some more of the stuff that our designers came up with, like the church. And that basically, you know, we'll have our 4 types of upgrades along with the base type. And if anyone wants to see any of this information, I actually got it printed out earlier today. So if you want to just be interested in seeing the design direction that we want to go, just contact me and I can get you that info. Artists have been hard at work. If you can see on the left to you, it's essentially a animation rig that one of our artists, Brandon, worked out, and it looks pretty awesome. And we also have some of the base structures of it, like as we have the house right here. And we have some more of the structures. Here is for the school. We have the base one at the left, and then the corrupt one if you decide to dispose of education, as we're seeing in the current political trends at the moment. And for programmers, there's been a lot of work this sprint, and the picture that you see is actually the biggest hurdle that we had to overcome, and that is having a serialized dictionary that allows designers to really easily implement the dialogue along with the key. And now that this biggest hurdle is done with, it's pretty much just now putting all the components together and able to have something that's really amazing. But some of the other stuff that the programmers had to deal with is a lot of code cleanup from last semester. A lot of things had to be sheared and improved upon. Our online student actually did an amazing procedural plane, and I'm really stoked about it because now that we're going back to a plane system, he actually made it so the artists can now create their own tile set, and it would be procedurally created and saved throughout that whole game, the saved game start. And also we got a dialogue manager working finally. Now this dialogue manager is 100 times better than the previous one we had, and not only for optimization but also ease of use. And time to show you the placeholder text for programmers that we did for the dialogue, which hopefully you guys will enjoy. The one thing I can say is at the moment we're just having it on a click of a button, but we just need to hook it up to our building instantiation, and the dialogue will be checked from there. So poor guy, his farm's on fire. And this is for, right now we're showing that it could have multiple steps for the same building type. So now Joe plows. His farm is still on fire. So hopefully while you're in the game you can fix that. Because poor Joe Plow, all he knows is how to run tractors, not how to wheel the fire truck. And we have other things like a little Mr. Evil guy right here. And then we have for the market guy. So pretty much now that we've got this dialogue system in place, it's just now going back and getting the designers to really just copy and paste all the dialogue that they have, which I actually have as well printed out. So if you want to see that, it's pretty awesome as well. It's around 6 to 7 pages. And pretty much, yeah, thanks for your time. Hmm? I don't understand what the issue is. Okay.
So we have a build to show for you guys today of how our networking is still working and where we are right now with how the combat is, how the health bars are still working, how we're implementing classes into the game, and animation. So we have most of the level white boxed already, and we're starting with our modular construction, which we'll get to later. And this is our first class that we have finished, the archer person, who uses primarily a crossbow and has the ability of a focus shot that they charge up and release that does more damage. And there's our second class, the wizard, who shoots fireballs. Don't die.
No. You killed me.
So yeah, you can die. Let's hop back in the game.
Now I'm gonna be the wizard.
Wizard's OP, man.
I'm the wizard now.
So let's go over to the modular construction.
Yeah.
Show
Well,
that off.
James killed me before I could get there.
I'll take it.
Yeah. So this is the first modular style that we have finished. This is going to be used for the houses in the town and the shops. Moving forward, we're going to have more stone construction for some of the more militaristic buildings. And we're... Oh, right. We did finish some of our textures for the wall in Substance Designer. And that's basically it.
And prove that it's not just the wizard.
What?
Kill him, prove it's not just the wizard that's OP.
Well, I am the wizard, and so is he right now.
Oh, you both are.
Yeah. We haven't done respawn yet, so
He's dead.
currently when the first player who comes in, they take archer, second player takes wizard. When the first player gets killed, the host then becomes the second player, so it then considers them player one. So when the next person comes back in, it brings them as player two and makes them the wizard. So when we get respawning in there, they'll respawn as the same character.
Oh. You want to talk about progress systems in the UI?
Sure, yeah. Our UI, we have it set so that either team will have a different health bar. And for the more magical team, they have this UI with some mystical looking stuff, especially the rune that flashes different colors. And it's a cool looking health bar that actually works. Yeah.
All right. Thank you guys for your time.
Hello everybody, my name is Ian Goldsmith, project lead for Ion Survivor. I didn't make a PowerPoint this presentation because I wanted to jump right into the build because we got a lot done. I'm actually pretty happy about that. First off is the Steam. I can now show it off, it works. And with the character classes that I showed the last time, we now have a low poly model for our in-game character for the hunter. He looks kind of goofy here because this is going to be what's on the island when we play it. And then for this selection screen is where going to be the higher poly, higher rendered models are going to be, so the player can see with a lot more fidelity and detail what their player is or what their character is going to be when they select it before they play. And then when we're on the island, our artists were able to get in a bunch of their island foliage and trees and stuff in. I have blocking volumes invisible right now for this section, so you can't see the collision, but they can't walk through it. And we'll have more art assets to fill in those blocking volumes besides just trees and stuff in the future. But that is the majority of the project or progress from the art side. There's a lot of buildings and weapons that have been completed as well, but I wasn't able to get them in because our inventory system requires a 3-step process to get that in, and it was 6 in the morning, so I gave up. And I'm trying to get around an invisible blocking volume so I can show off the ability that we were able to get in. Come on. So when you equip the axe, it won't be the axe in the future, but when you click the axe, you can activate the ability that allows you to teleport. And that's significant not because you can teleport through the blocking volumes, but because the whole system for implementing abilities is streamlined and in there, so the programmers can very quickly and easily add more to the game depending on what item or ability they're working with. And as soon as we get the base attack system, health, stamina, and body heat in there as well, those values will be affected as well. And there is a cooldown, so as you can hear, I'm spamming it and it doesn't fire off all the time. And that's it. Thank you.
All right. So last time I didn't really show off a lot of the art and the design side of things, so this time I kind of integrated that into the presentation. So first up we have Candle Mouse. One of our online artists conceptualized several different variations that we could use. I am quite fond of the one on the tail. But this is a mouse that has the power to shift light, so he can turn it off and turn it on. Here is some pictures from in our picture from Unity where we are implementing a prototype for that power, and that is a burst of light that is lighting up the candle. Bryce, our on-ground student, he modeled us this. He kind of curved the tip of the tail there so we can hook on the lantern if we decide to. Here is some conceptual art for Magnaball. We're calling him Magball as well. This is the kind of like the form that you steal, and this is the one that you help. So depending on your choices, you get a different appearance. We also messed around with the cockatrice. We can turn things to stone. So in this picture on the right, that cube is movable. It moves through the scene, and the cockatrice can stone it and stop it. And the two spheres on top line up with that, so if you line it up just right, you can activate a door. So we're playing with the cockatrice. And we have a video on some of the animations we've been working on for the wolf, and they're looking pretty good. So we have the walking animation, and then if you speed it up in a second, you'll see the running animation. We only have one student who's able to rig and animate, so that is quite slow for us, but that's okay, because she's doing a great job. So yeah, there's the running animation. We also have a jumping and several idles. So, okay, come on, there we go. Did I? Okay. We also have some static models that we are going to be integrating soon. I've been working on the skeleton, and we have his bow. We are still adjusting that bow. We're going to add some runic stuff to it so it fits the style of the game. We also have the torch and the lever, and the lever is actually in the prototype as well. We can take the lever piece out and put it into another lever, which will be very good for puzzles. We also spent some time on the world. We have the starting area, which is on the right, and then we have the island itself that we're filling in. Here are some of the level designs that one of our online students made for the wolf. This kind of shows scent trails and targets, as well as some moving platforms that you can probably use the cockatrice to stop and jump across. Harlan, he was team lead for Oddity. He's been working on some UI for us. These are the runes that we are using for the forms in the form wheel. They're looking pretty awesome. And now for the build presentation. Is that right? Okay. Okay. So here's that starting area you saw in the presentation. We spent some time on the wolf and getting the animation synced. There's still some work to do with the jump, but it's getting a little better. We had our one of our designers spend some time building some prefabs for us so we can place down tree lines and blotches of trees very easily. We have the sword's up there where you can grab it. There's a little bit of a platforming puzzle to it. The jumping is horrendous right now, but we're actually investing some time into ripping it apart and redesigning it. Over here we have some stuff for the skeleton. He is currently a cube, but we can aim and shoot through fire to burn things. Did I miss that? Must have not charged it all the way. Is that not working? Oh, that's fun. Am I aiming too high? Oh, there we go. Okay, and you can see that the arrow went through the fire and collided with the pile of wood to burn it. So this area is kind of showing off our different ways we can interact with the world with the skeleton. This is not going to be any final puzzle. These are just pieces we can use to put things together. So you can see we can shoot these buttons and activate these runic lines to open up the next area. Same thing here, but we are showing off that we can do timed events. So there's actually a very abstract class we can just use to slap onto things, kind of time certain objects. It's really cool. Very easy for designers to mess with as well. Oops. You gotta be a good shot though. We also have Harlan working on a new reticle that will expand and grow as you charge it up. So that will be really awesome to have once we get it in. And then as we go through this, well, we're introducing, oh no. There we go. I guess some can't jump higher than others. Same thing here, you can shoot these things and they come crashing down to activate. Come on. I'm a terrible shot. Oh, there we go. And then the final puzzle kind of takes everything together and shows off how we can kind of use these. One thing we're going to be focusing on in the next sprint is really taking and combining the forms together to solve a puzzle. Okay, come on. You can see this one was not correct. There's some artifacts there that we have to fix, but you can see that each pressure plate has a different symbol on it, and we can actually shift these around with the buttons to activate it. And you can see that, come on. We really need that new UI. And you can see that was a success. I'm not going to go through the whole puzzle, but it does open the door. I'm going to teleport over to the garden area and show off the wolf's abilities. We have a lot of tweaking to do in terms of speed, because the wolf is quite slow. I almost said that backwards. But we did get the puzzle integrated here. So you can see if I hold this down, these flowers emit different colors, and his animations break when you do that. We can actually pick these up with the hero. He has the ability to grab and pick up things, whereas the other forms do not. And we can take these over to this door and kind of match the colors. So you have to go around the garden with the wolf and find the proper colors to unlock this door. And we are kind of making sure that the level explains that to the player. As you can see on this side, it's full, it charges up the door, this side's broken and needs to be powered. So yeah, that's what we have so far for the build. Hope you guys enjoyed.
Very nice. All right, we're going to take a short break between our build reviews and welcome our guest speaker here today. He is from Loomis Art Academy, a unique school with unique opportunities for our students. So give our guest speaker a round of applause. Chuck Green, join us. Thank you for coming. Appreciate you being here. Lynn.
All right, well, I'll make this quick and simple. I'm starting a private school in Gilbert this fall, and it's called Lumos Arts Academy. And what we're looking for, it's going to be 7th through 12th grade, and we're going to start pretty small. But our vision is to create a place where not only on-stage artists but backstage artists can get the glory and collaboration that they deserve. Because most art schools, if you guys have seen, are all about singers, dancers, that kind of person. We're okay with that, but we also want to have people that are doing this kind of stuff, doing digital arts, people that are doing set design, costume design, video editing, all that kind of thing, so we can do short films and stuff like that. So we're actually looking at attracting not only typical students, but then high performing autistic Asperger's students, because we know that they have that part of their brain that kind of can focus really well and do these technical kind of things. I have two sons, one who is low functioning autistic and one who's high functioning. And my high functioning son actually does several YouTube channels. He's been doing digital music since he was 3, and he's gotten pretty popular. It's really cool, but at school he never had that chance to show his talent. So what we're looking for from you, we're actually going to do a partnership with the university where we have our students mingling with yours. We'll do back and forth, master teachers from this campus coming over to our campus, our students coming and seeing what you guys are doing, maybe doing some mentoring. But we're also looking for instructors for our campus that can do digital arts, but also regular art classes, painting, all that kind of stuff. So we're looking for those kind of faculty members. And as we grow, we'll be doing more of that, looking for more people to do those kind of projects. So I'm really excited about it, and I love your school, the possibilities we have with you guys, and I love the way that it's set up here. We're going to do a flex blended model. So the only classes on our campus will be arts based. Everything else will be online. So their core classes, English, math, science, social studies, will all be in our learning lounge with certified teachers, but they'll be able to do that on their own pace, because you guys know how painful it is to go through high school and have to go to a class and listen to the teacher tell you, and basically you're just waiting for them to say, you can do your work now. And it's painful. So we want those kids to have the chance to get through their core classes quickly and then go right to their arts, and to be able to see try lots of different kind of arts. So they don't just have to be a singer. They don't just have to be a band person. They can do digital, they can do vocal, all sorts. So that's kind of our vision. If you want to check it out online, it's lumosarts.com, and it will be in Gilbert at Baseline and Lindsay, approximately in that area. And if you have any questions, you can email me, chuck@lumosarts.com. I'll be the principal. And so it's chuck@lumosarts.com or lumosarts.com if you want to look at what we're doing. And if you're interested in getting a job there, or if you know somebody that would be, then please let me know, because we want to push this, because this is the future. You know, you guys are the future, and I love what this campus represents and what you guys are doing here. And I really apologize. I would love to stay, but I actually have a faculty meeting at 12 o'clock. So I've got to run. But does anybody have any questions? No? All right.
Fantastic.
All right.
Great opportunities for our students.
Yeah.
We thank you for joining us here on campus. We'll go ahead and post this information in the announcements if anyone is interested. Thank you so much. I'm very
Thanks, Lynn. I
interested in
appreciate it.
what
Thank you, guys.
Okay, I am Donald Cheppis. I am the team lead for Calculord. And once this opens up, so our lovely placeholder splash screen. So we got quite a few things added into this build for Calculord. And I'm going to stop talking as I'm trying to type. So the first thing you'll see is we actually have one of our beginning armor sets implemented into the game. So this is a first step in a long process of just adding in more armor sets, so that way we can start swapping them out. Right now we're in the process of figuring out exactly what materials to use. We've got the beginning stages of a fabric system so that the cape will not stick out at a 90-degree angle from the character. That's all stuff that we're playing around with, working with, trying to get that so it's not kind of semi-transparent, which is the problem we've been having right now. We've got a new system for handling the displaying of the practice quizzes. So now you've got this scroll bar that's going to take you through all of the subjects, and then also having progress bars that link up to how many of the practice quizzes have been completed. The sizing's a little off, but something that's been a big goal for us early in this semester has been trying to get the variety of different ways of presenting the questions that you would have on a typical math quiz to students. And so we've got that. And so now we've got, your standard multiple choice question. We've got displaying it as a, now the term's escaping me. Word question, yes, a word problem. I'm just going to hit something, whatever. And then actually being able to go in, typing in an answer. And I'm not going to read the question. Having multiple questions that you can answer, so that we were being able to put in, especially this is something you see with stepwise building, going through a question. So they'll break down and have each segment have something that you need to fill in. And then again, displaying that as times tables. Being able to drag the various options in to whatever spots that they would go to. And then this is also one of the more difficult systems, but creating a shape of 30 square units. So being able to actually go in and create a shape and then confirm, does this object have 30 units, which I'm not going to go through just for time's sake. But that's kind of the breadth of the types of questions that you will see on various math quizzes. And so actually being able to, especially the ones that kind of have multiple parts, then being able to stepwise through and be able to get exactly the right answer based on the student input has been very important for us. And then our next steps are both tying in some of the logbook functionality so that way you can see progress, as well as actually having the equipping of items working. We've got everything working on the back end. Now it's just a matter of making it displayed to the user instead of the UI, as well as the shop. That's what we've got for this sprint in Calculord, and we'll have more in the sprints to come.
All right, I'm Kyle Tomlin. I'm the project lead for Foodmeister. Let's just give me one. That one here. Cool. Okay, so this sprint was based solely around registration. So as soon as you launch the app, you register your account. And so we said login. So right now, all we support is Google Plus, but I've looked into Facebook, Twitter, and a normal username password login. So right now, like on the iOS, I actually am now developing with iOS and Raymond is doing the Android. Right now, you can do form validation. So when you enter in something and it's not filled out fully or not correct, it will tell you. And it also pulls down as much Google information as it can. So your username, your email, and as much information as you fill out. It also connects fully with the database now, so as soon as you register, it sends the information to the server and uses the same scripts that the website uses to create users. So all three apps are now based on the same server. So here is the iOS version. So there's the current UI. And it shows you that it pulled down my email and name from Google. And then when I put a birth date, it gives a birth date selector. And then as soon as you pick it, it puts it in the box. And then so here's where it shows that I didn't put in a gender and I tried to submit, and it gave you an error down there, and it also told you that there was a field that was left empty. And then we have our selectors for the allergies that are currently supported. Then I put in my gender, and I submit, and then it launches the map. And then here's the Android version. Select your allergies. And then it launches the map the same. So here's just showing that the server is connected successfully and that my account and Raymond's account was put in there. Alright, so Sprint 3, we're going to focus on Google Maps. So now that you have your profile, it's going to find you restaurants around you that match your profile. And also have navigation, so we're going to implement a navigation drawer, so the menu that slides out, and then you can select, you want to go to your profile, or you want to go back to maps, or whatever you need to do. And then also a remember user function, so that when you log in, it will remember you until you either log out or delete your account or whatever. So yeah, that's kind of what we're thinking about for Sprint 3. Thank you.
How are you finding the restaurants that have that?
Uh,
Those options?
what they want us to do is the restaurants are going to sign up and submit their, like, we have, allergy free for peanuts or whatever, and then it'll filter out. So like I have a peanut allergy, I don't actually, but so I set up my account as a peanut allergy, and then it'll filter out that restaurant to me that also has a peanut.
So you're gonna have that. That'll be your database.
Yes.
You haven't built that out.
No, because they actually have to like figure out how they're gonna like vet restaurants and stuff to figure out how, so that you can't just put up anything. So that once they get us that, but right now we'll just put in dummy data just to get this functionality working, and then once they actually get us restaurants that match, we can then actually. So yeah, that's kind of.
Can you scrape Google Maps or something for that? I don't know where they would have it.
I don't even know if they have that. I'm sure they do, but they kind of wanted it only the ones that are signed up through the app. So.
All right, that concludes our milestone review. Make sure that you're chiming in online for your points. And leads, heads up, when you come to the leads meeting today, you're expected to bring your standalone executables along with your presentation materials or links to those so that we can back that up. As you go forward, this is a break in the milestone process. You're going to do your sprint planning today, but most importantly, everybody checks their work in today. Whether it's complete or not, you need an interim check-in just to make sure that you've got that backed up before you go forward. You want to talk a little bit about sprint planning?
We've talked about this last time, but so your sprint planning now obviously is to look at the next 3 sprints, next 3 weeks for the sprint and see what you want to do there. Make sure that everybody then is on board with that and that everybody is tasked out. I have heard some online students talk about not having either enough work or not knowing what they're doing next. So make sure everybody on the team knows what you're doing for this full entire sprint. And then also talk about, again, review as a group, what worked this sprint, what didn't work this sprint. And maybe, again, as a good kind of thing to just do regularly, choose one thing that worked well or didn't work well and kind of focus on that for this next sprint and see if you can keep that up or make sure it doesn't happen again, that kind of a thing. So part of your stand-ups, part of that today, just do your regular stand-ups, but then also do your planning meetings and your retrospective as well. Those are really important for this process. The other thing I wanted to say is that, we've been spent 2 sprints now. I would have hoped that we would be better at everybody adding their information into Axosoft, for example. I'm still seeing burn down charts that are kind of wonky and off and a lot of excuses around that. Make sure that you're putting in your hours. You need to do that. Otherwise, you just won't know your velocity. You won't be able to judge and check these things. And that's really important. When you get out of here, you're going to have to be able to stay a part of the team, report to what you're doing, and also be accountable in the projection and the velocity of your project. You're all part and parcel to a bigger whole, right? So make sure that you're doing that. Find a trick, put it in your calendar, do whatever you need to do. Maybe it's every Friday at the end of the day, you just do that and you have it in there as a little reminder that comes to you. Or every Sunday, you just put in a little reminder on your calendar that you need to do that to make sure that you guys are keeping your Axosofts up to date. All right? I can't stress that enough. Anything else?
Okay, just a quick reminder, the NBA product, if you're looking for credits on a great name for your resume in your portfolio, again, anybody who knows how to retarget motion capture, you're invited to join us for that at 11:45 today up in the mocap room. Leads, we've covered what you need to do. Space Wars.
2:30. So if you weren't here before, 2:30 and 106. We've got 11 more spots open, so you get a free copy of the game, and you'll be playtesting against each other for Space Wars at 2:30. And then anybody who is going to GDC and wants some help or advice, let me know. There is a Facebook GDC parties group you can be part of to understand what's going on at GDC. If you want help with business cards and that kind of stuff, let me know. Or it sounds like Ivan has done some of this stuff too. Just ask around. We're ready to support you guys for that. So.
Okay, Rain and
No. Of course. Yep.
Team Rain and Rebellion, we're gonna have a little powwow for a couple of minutes after class. So meet us up here. And that's it for me.
Cool. All right, go make some games, guys. Kick some butt.